message when you've got that going. Okay, so we're going to focus this evening's talk around the highest paid skill in network marketing, and that is, as a couple of people guessed on the page, getting people to events. And Eric Worre talks about it in his book, or Michael Klaus talks about it. It's just, you could do everything else in your business, but if you're not getting people to events, you'll never build a leverage business that you can start to reduce the amount of hours you're putting into it. You just never will. It's the single most important, and it's definitely how we've built our business. Like, I'm the first to admit I'm not great at a lot of things in network marketing. But what we have done really well as a team is get a shitload of people to events. So we're going to talk about a little bit about why that's important, and then also a little bit about some tips on how to get people to events, because that's what we really want to know. And at the end of the day, that's just mastering the skill of inviting. But first, a story. And she's not online, I don't think. I think she had a meeting. She's out and about. But I want to take you guys all back to the first event that Rory, Taryn, Sarah and I went to interstate. And Sarah just straight up lied to Taryn to get her over there. So it was an Arts Uni in Sydney. Taryn thought there was going to be a boat cruise with all you can drink champagne. There wasn't. And she thought it was going to be this big party, and there was a party and stuff. But basically, when it came down to it, fundamentally, we lied. We lied right to Taryn's face to get it to the event. But from that, us, the four of us getting to that event, that's when we all saw it, and we all started to actually get it. And that's where it grew. So for us and for me personally, events have been absolutely integral from the very beginning, and little events to big events, and getting people to celebration for a few different reasons. A, none of us are actually professional network marketers yet. Some of us want to be, and some of us, are aspiring to be, and are starting to do the things to learn, but we're all within our first really couple of years of doing this properly. So what events do is it allows us to leverage professional network marketers in terms of the skills. So, but the biggest thing is that it's duplicable. So I can't train everybody in everything, but what I can do is teach people how to invite people to an event. And that's why this week's skill was so good. Oh, I've got a Facebook. Hang on a second. Somebody tried to call me through Facebook. Where was I? Oh yeah, it's duplicable. So basically, events build belief more than anything else. The biggest reason people quit or drop out of this business is because they lack belief in one of the areas, in either the products, the compensation plan, the company, the industry, but mainly themselves doing network marketing. And the most powerful thing about events is you hear so many different stories of, just mute your lines as you come in, guys. So many different stories from so many different people, and it's relatable. So we had 80 people, yeah, fat beats. Thanks, Nicola. We had about 90 odd people at celebration, okay? And everybody, if you went around and asked everybody what their main thing was that they got out of it, or their main takeaway, everybody will say slightly different. So what these events do is it's almost like a smorgasbord of, I guess, training and stories that people can relate to. And it's the one thing that can build belief in the products, conversation plan, network marketing, the company, and your self-belief, all in the one weekend. You'd have to listen to podcasts for a year. So it's by far the most time efficient way to build your business. And it's the most leverageable. And it's fun. Like, who has fun when we all catch up? Like, it's the noble effect. It's like, that's what it's all about. Like, if you don't like people, and like, and hanging out with your team, you're in for a real long shit slog in network marketing. I'd hang up if you weren't. So what I want to talk to you about before I get Paul on, we're really lucky to have Paul come on and share his story in a second. But I want to talk about the gradient of events, because who agrees? Who's brought somebody to an event before, just show of hands, and it missed the mark with that person, and that person was like, "Ooh, that's a bit much." Has anybody show of hands? Yeah, a few hands there. Yeah, every year. Somebody's like, "Fuck yeah." Yeah. So what I want to talk about is the gradient of events and the skill of being a master connector. Because just like with a tool or a three-way call with a certain person, you need to match up the person you're speaking to with the right event. Just like you'd match them up with the right person to have a three-way call with. So if I've got, a Zoe who says she's yellow, she's definitely blue as well, but very, very yellow. I could, if I met Zoe and I were talking about it, I could safely just lob her into celebration and say, go play with those guys for 4 days. And she would love it. And she'd be like, this is where I'm at. I love it. I'm having a great time. I'm in. I'm sold. But if you were to get a skeptical guy, accountant, number crunching, not really comfortable with people, and said, oh yeah, just come along to this event, and sent him to celebration, probably wouldn't go down as well. So it's about meeting people where they're at and just moving people along the gradient of events. Because a lot of the time we've enrolled somebody, for example, and they're, say, this is more for like, say, transitioning a product sharer to a business builder. If you've got them to the point where they're sharing the products, but they're not, committed to the business, if anything you were going to say was going to help with that transition, it would have happened already. So they're going to have to hear something from somebody else, and that's going to happen at an event. Great story. Carmen Rumsey, Isogenics Millionaire Platinum, enrolled by Jen Patch, wasn't interested in the business for months until she went to a Super Saturday and heard Jen Jeffries, the naturopath, speak. And she came back and she's like, Jen, I get it. Why didn't you just explain it to me like this? And Jen Patch had been explaining the business, heard it from Jen, the naturopath, and all of a sudden it made sense. So I just guess that fundamental thing, if anything you were going to say was going to inspire or light somebody up, it would happen by the time they get to the point where they're sort of sharing the products. So you stop being the person who's in their ear and you just be the inviter and start trying to invite to events. So the gradient of events go like this. Brett and Sammy did this up. Goes from a one-on-one catch-up, that's an event. A three-way call, that's an event. Then it's a launch party. Then it's like a Wellness Wednesday or an opportunity meeting, or like a online webinar. Then Super Saturday. Then ISA Uni or University in Action. Then celebration. Then US celebration. So I'll go through those again. One-on-one, three-way call or three-way catch-up, launch party. So that can be online or in-person launch party. In-person is better. Wellness Wednesday or opportunity meeting, ISA Uni or University in Action, celebration, and then US celebration, so traveling internationally. So the idea of moving people along the gradient of events is you've got to connect it, and we've got Anna coming on later, so she might touch on a few of these points, but I'm just going to share a few of my thoughts. Moving people along that gradient. So if you've had a one-on-one catch up and the person signs up because you've showed them a tool or whatever, still the next step, you still the game is to take everybody through the gradient of events. So that's when you do like maybe a three-way welcome call, or you'd say, come along to this launch party so you can learn more about the products, or do whatever you can, connect it with why they're doing it. So if it's just for the products, say, it's just like people get far better results when they know a bit more about the system and they've got a bit of accountability from the community. So come along. So you're not inviting them along. They're not interested in the business. You don't say, come along to this launch party so you can learn U+2, them +2. Always relate it back to their why. It's easier if you've got somebody who say they're committed to the business, so they've given you their why. if they don't know why they're going to an event, investing time, which is their most important asset, and a little bit of money, if they don't know why they're doing that, then they're not going to do it. Because it'll if you're not taking it back to why they need to do it, it's coming from you should come to this, and it's a bit more about you. So, and this is a good test, is if you actually know each person's why. Because if you don't have a little hook to speak to them about upcoming events. And then the other thing is around posture around events. And if you don't have posture, then you borrow somebody's posture. Okay. And that's when you use a third party. But for example, the first time I experienced this fully was when I got on a Skype call with the Lovies before the last celebration. Yeah.
Hey!
Who's there? Oh, Anna's on. I'll get to you in a second, miss. Thanks for jumping on. Oh, and there's Morgsy in the background. What up, guys? So yeah, the posture around inviting. So the first time I actually felt this, because I'd heard about it all the time, PK, Anna, all these people had spoken about posture around inviting. The P word got thrown around. I jumped on a Skype call with Rhea and Lovey. Says had given me the word up that Lovey was pretty skeptical. I jumped on. He's got his beanie down, like over his eyes, sitting in the corner like, nah, not into it. And I had posture because Sayers had tapped into Rhea's why, and I could sit there, stare them in the eyes and say, if you want to achieve this and get to what their why was, then this event is going to get you there a year faster than if you don't come. You still might get there, but this is going to fast track whatever you want, whatever pain you're in. This is going to help take you out of that pain a year faster than if you don't come. Said like that. And then they obviously came. But then the magic in that was then they then had posture around events. So then this celebration is the first time they came to a celebration. They brought like 8 or 9 new people. So if you don't have that posture yet, that's okay. It took me, I would have been doing the business for over a year at that point. It was the first time I really felt it in myself. So borrow that posture and leverage a third party basically to just fake it till you make it, but also just borrow it until you make it as well. So they're the 2 main things I wanted to touch on. What we're going to do now is we're going to get Paul to have a bit of a chat because his story is really powerful. First, I guess the reason why events are important, and he'll share his story. He'd basically been approached a couple of times, and it was actually one of our events in Melbourne that got him on board. But then from there, he was able to run a launch that had about 20 people at it. So safe to say, for a newbie, he's doing pretty well, and he's got some good stuff to share. So, Paul, I'm just trying to find you. If you could take yourself off mute. There you go. You're on.
Hey, everybody. I'm on. Do I need to do anything else, or I'm good?
No, you're good to go, mate. So I guess just share a little bit about, first of all, thanks for taking the time to jump on a Sunday and share some knowledge bombs. But I guess, I just wanted you to jump on because like I sort of touched on in that message to you, like your story really sums up the power of events in quite a short space of time really, really well. So I guess just share your story and how you came to jump on board. And then from there, how you were able to, and a few, specific tips in that to fill a room for your first launch party. So take it away.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me on. So I guess it's been a bit of a whirlwind for me, and I'm definitely still finding my feet and figuring things out and wondering about all the crazy people I've met. But I had, I guess, couple of experiences with Isagenix, or at least had it sort of waved in front of my nose. So I'm a personal trainer, so that's sort of where I'm positioned. And I guess I had a chiropractor contact me with the Isagenix a year ago, and he sort of sent me an email, and I didn't sort of think much of it, didn't pay it much heed. A friend of mine who was sort of driving Isagenix as a business, and I had kind of driven the conversation with her about how does it kind of work? Do you think it would fit with me? And she kind of didn't follow up. She had another trainer. She suggested that I'll get you on a call with another trainer, but it sort of never happened. So I went along to a meeting, must have been only 4 weeks ago, with a friend called Mandy. here in Melbourne. And it was more, she had just touched base with me a couple of times, saying that there were some meetings going on. And it was the third time I think she'd kind of invited me. She said, hey, this one's a bit closer. And I guess I went along just to support her, and sort of I saw she was putting in the effort. I was curious, obviously, but more than anything, just went to hang out with her and support whatever she was doing. And then Tully was at that. Taryn presented that night, I think, with Cara. Tully and Taryn presented, and I thought they both had great posture. But I guess, I saw an opportunity and how it might fit with my personal training business pretty quickly. So that's the basics around how I sort of got involved. And then with the launch, like I say, I'm unique in that I've got a personal training business. So you guys have to work out, obviously, what, who you invite and how you go about it. But in terms of how ours worked, I ended up, I think we had 36 people in the room listening in. And it wasn't rocket science at all. I just did an event page, and I've got my phone here, so I'll just go off that. So I just had an event page, and I went more along the less about the business, more about the health, how it could impact on their short-term kind of health. Also, we did it on a night which was normally a big boot camp night for us, which is a Monday. So I sort of knew that most of them would be coming to boot camp. So I sort of said, look, this is important enough that we'll have a night off boot camp. I'd like you guys to be at this. And I just said to them straight, like, I know you're free because you're always here on a Monday, so there's really no excuse not to sort of come along. And then with the event page, though, and there was still, I think, a lot of skepticism. A couple of people knew that I had started my 30 days on isogenic, so I didn't kind of hide from that. That was what it was. So I think there was a sense amongst our group of, what's he going to sell me? Is it going to be a hard sell type thing? So I kind of positioned the event page more as a nutrition info night rather than something they had to sign up to. And I tried to stress that, look, it's another layer on top of what we're doing with our boot camps. So come along about it. And if you aren't interested, well, at least you'll know what your mates might be doing. Because we had, I think I had 8 people that through me starting my 30-day program were prepared to jump on before the launch and had ordered their packs and stuff already. So I was able to kind of use those examples of, look, you might not want to do it right now, but Leanne's doing it. She's, so at least you'll know what she's kind of up to. And then on the event page, I just make sure I posted something every day. There's a photo going around viral at the moment, which is of Cara, a girl here in Melbourne, Cara, her bum and thighs. And I thought that was motivating. Like
great pick.
We had that go up, and there was a few more sort of jumped on off the back of that. I think the following day I posted an incentive to just turn up to the night, and it was just a $25 voucher to my boot camps just by turning up. So that was something I used that I could sort of leverage. And then I guess the only other real thing with the event page was I followed up. There was a few on the maybe list. I think it was 10 on our maybe list. And I just followed them up with an individual message just to say, hey, I noticed you might be a chance to come. Great if you can make it. Looking forward to catch up with you or whatever it might be. So we probably dragged 2 or 3 along from the maybe list that maybe otherwise wouldn't have come. And then I followed up most of those that said they were going. So some of the ones so I invited a lot of my active members, but also a heap of previous clients who I haven't seen for a while. So particularly the ones that I haven't had a lot of contact with recently, if they had said they were going, I figured there was still a chance that they might just say they're going but not turn up. So I just touched base with them individually as well and said, hey, awesome, notice that you're coming along, looking forward to catch up on the night. And that worked well to make sure those ones got over the line.
Awesome.
There was a handful that sort of contacted me privately to say, what is it? I've heard it's isogenics or whatever it might be. And so I tried to just negotiate those ones as they came through. And I had hoped for 50 plus, to be honest, out of the whatever 300 we'd invited. But didn't quite work out that way. What else have I got in there? Also, I guess I'm a little bit removed. So I'm about 30 minutes out of the city, and I was very grateful. I had 4 or 5 people prepared to come all the way out. So we had Susie, Taryn, Sarah, who actually put her flight back, to be at the event. So I guess I was just stressing that stuff to people that, look, these guys are making a big effort to come across. And so, yeah, let's make an effort to support that. And then, just what was the other one that I did? So we put up on a separate forum. I put up five reasons to attend the event, and do I have those here? And again, this stuff is not going to relate to everyone because not everyone's a personal trainer, but hopefully it sort of relates in some way. So I just gave 5 quick reasons on a separate forum on my active members page. To try and drag a couple more across the line. So one, I said, learn about a program that's helping thousands of people achieve their weight loss and fitness goals, meet some like-minded, educated people. That's an angle I sort of took, that some of the guys like Sarah, both Sarah and Taryn, have a background in health. So you're kind of positioning yourself as it is. Those guys are health experts. And if they're very passionate about it, I guess it's good enough for us. The social night was the other thing I promoted. So the fact that we were going to go and hang out together as a social occasion. And so we had dinner before the event. We had a pub location with I don't know, they booked out a room for us with a TV and stuff. So we had the pub dinner first. So that was probably another thing, just to go along and hang out. If nothing else, you're going to come and have a bit of a social night. So get
them drunk. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, part of the way at least. And that's really it. So I guess more than anything, just tried to tick the basic boxes and then follow up any sort of leads that I had. Anything, mate, you reckon I'll skip over?
No, that is epic. I've got a whole list of notes, and most of that will be applicable to anybody having a launch. But the cool thing is, anytime anybody enrolls a personal trainer or any sort of health professional, you've got a play-by-play there, guys. I'm not sure if you got it down. I did. I'll recap it, of how Paul managed to get 36 people in the room. So thanks so much for sharing all of that, man. It's, gold. I've got a lot of notes here. So I'm just going to recap a little bit in case people didn't take notes. First thing was, you did get an event page, bit of a no-brainer. You targeted the health initially. That's an easier thing for people to conceptualize than the business side of things. Making a health change is a bit easier to wrap their head around than, leading with the business, especially if you are in health. Availability on the night is important as well. Only that it was isogenics. People already knew. So this only gets weird when you get weird. So if people know what it is, don't be scared of the word. Own the word and have posture around it. Position, info night. Again, the old, feel free to leave a credit card at home. This is just an information night. So people have no stress around coming. Post something on it every day. That's something that I just wrote down that I haven't done in the launches that I've set up. So I'm not sure about anybody else, but that's one. Post a before and after pic, especially that Kara's one. That's a winner for all the women. Offer a bit of an incentive, so make it a bit of fun. Follow up the individuals and follow up the yeses. So the maybes and the yeses, follow up with an individual message. And then support. He called in the troops. Taz, Sarah. And the cool thing about this, this one team mentality that we've got with Isogenics, we've got Anna about to jump on the call now. There is anybody who's signed up into this business and say they don't have enough support is tripping, because you could call pretty much anybody. Doesn't matter if they even know you, let alone financially connected to you, and they'll be willing to help. So if you're scared about having a launch, or your people are, know that you've got the support and call in it and leverage that. And then, some reasons to, and make it social and fun. So that's awesome, man. Thanks so much for sharing all of that. So now what we're going to do is, we're very fortunate to have the one and only Anna Richards. I don't know if Morgsy's there as well. I'm just trying to find Anna's screen. Where are you? So I can see you. There she is. There you are. You're on the big screen, making some noise. Awesome. Yeah, so for those of you, everybody who was at Celebration would have seen Anna speak. So, yeah, Anna, I've known Anna since back in the day when Wellness Wednesday started. And she is just an incredible human, but has built an incredible business as well. And I know she's really passionate around it. And I know her and Morgsy, they're a couple that really, they treat it like a business, and that's why they get paid like they own a business. And one of the things that I know they take really seriously is blocking out time and setting time aside to get people to events, because they understand and have seen the importance of it. So Anna, I just, open forum, just take it away. Just drop some knowledge on us, I guess, share a bit about how events have impacted your business, why it's such an important aspect, but then some little nuggets like of how you do get people along to events, big and small. So there's a lot there, and you can just play with it all.
Play with it. Morgsy's on his way up. I was like, babe, come up, tell me your story. We've been out all day doing business training and all kinds of crazy stuff. So he was just tending to the puppies while I jumped on this. So I am so pumped up to be on this because when Tall Dog contacted me and said, hey, can you jump on and talk about events? I was like, yes, I can. And the congruency of his question was insane, because Morgan and I literally just spent the morning, like the whole morning of income producing activity, contacting our whole team personally, saying, and when I got on, exactly what you're saying, Tully, is exactly what we were doing. So we know we move in with our team. Like you guys, like we love our team. We really connect. Like before they've even said yes, I know like intimately the underwear that they wear. Essentially, like I know their why. I know what they want to do. I know that stuff. So whenever I'm trying to get anyone to an event, I just connect them back to that. So we had spent the morning. We blocked out a big chunk of our morning, and I am Facebook Messenger Voices biggest fan, and that's how we do business now. So if I can't get people on the phone or coffee or Zoom, because I just think, right, you can hear I'm handing, you can hear my excitement, my passion, and that's everything to me. So instead of writing and PMing to people, hey, hey, Ed and Liv, remember that goal that we chatted about ages ago? We know how badly you need that extra income for your girls. This event is going to do, be a game changer for you. We're on voicemail. So we're like, hey, Liv and Ed, how are you? Exactly this. Like, that goal that we've chatted about over and over and over again. Well, a phenomenal individual by the name of David Wood, you may know him, he's coming to Perth. This is a non-negotiable kind of event. Like, you've got to come, you've got to do whatever you've got to do. We will help you get a babysitter. We'll do whatever it takes to get you to this event, because we have to see you both in that audience. And that couples grow together or they grow apart. So we want to see both bums on seats. No excuses that one comes and one doesn't. So we are just like that whole morning. We were just like boom, 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 boom. So I think in our back office, we'd run a report. We had our little report next to us. And I think about 10 of our team had bought tickets. By the end of the day, we had about 35. So this for us, but because we understand the power of, it's got nothing to do with us. Like I always say, I'm about to share it tonight. I'm so fired up at the moment. I just spent a day crying with like 15 of our team about our whys. But network marketing is not on trial anymore. Like, just understand this, that we are at a tip in the world. You're getting paid whether you want to be a professional surfer, you want to be a stay-at-home mum, whatever you want to do, and you have the ability to change people's lives. But you are never going to get that across unless you can get someone in front of someone else that they're going to vibe with and connect with their story and meet our culture and meet our community. And that all comes from events. So, how many times have you heard getting people to events is the highest paid skill in network marketing? Well, it is. So you've got to get to work on that. So for Morgan and I, we have our income producing activity time in the morning. We're just more productive in the morning. A lot of that time is, okay, who are we going to invite to Wellness Wednesday this week? Who are we going to invite on the opportunity webinar? Who are we going to, what's the next corporate event coming up? Who are we going to get to that? Who's already got tickets to summer kickoff? It's just literally, who are we going to get on? No, that is, because
it is.
Yeah, for me it totally is, because it's a gradient of events. Because
yeah, we spoke about that earlier.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. So
we had we were at our friend, like we were doing this team training today, and two of the beautiful women there were pretty new when Chrissy and Andrew had brought them along to our news kickoff. It was like their first ever anything. So they hadn't gone to a Wellness Wednesday. They'd been to one launch, and that was it. And they were just like thrown into summer kickoff. And sometimes that's awesome. And people that's where people catch the vision. Me, I would have frothed, right? I would have been like, yes. But these two beautiful, quiet women, I could have told you before they'd opened their mouth that they probably should have maybe been on a day. Definitely tried to have gone to, a not such a big event. So you've got to know all that stuff as well. Like Tully wasn't kidding when, we do treat this like a business. So I don't just take inviting people to events lightly. Like I really do have to think about, who am I talking to? Is this honestly going to an in-house before I throw them to David Wood? Have they been attending Wellness Wednesday before they attend a Super Saturday? So that gradient really is everything. But Morgie is coming up, but hang on, I'll just text him, because it was an event for him that made him see the vision. So you can understand, like Naggy wife. I just went on my own. I don't all know my story, but I went on my own journey, and he saw the product results. He'll tell the story, but if he had not have attended that event, I wouldn't probably be sitting here today, because it was getting his support. He did not build the business with me. He didn't go to every event then after that, but he did allow me to sit in my office till 11:30 at night every single night building this business, and didn't complain, didn't shit about it, didn't whatever. So that was huge that he got to an event. But hands up if any. Are you guys national?
Yeah, all over Oz. A lot of Victoria, a lot of Perth, few Sydney, the East Coast crew.
Yeah, that's all. I was just going to be like, who's going to David Wood? But no. So for us, it really is just about being. Well, for us, the biggest thing is I cannot ask my team to go and do an event and show up consistently if I'm not showing up first. I have to go first. You have to go first. So for me, yes, sometimes it's extremely inconvenient, and sometimes I don't feel like going to a Wellness Wednesday, but I know that if I want to tell my team and grow, this beautiful, abundant, incredible group of human beings, that I have to be going no matter what. And there's story after story after story after story I could tell you when I have not felt like showing up at all. When my dad died, when Morgan's dad had a heart attack, this morning I was crying my eyes out about stuff, and I was going to a business training, another event, and I just didn't feel like, I was in the car crying, and I was saying I'm just really vulnerable and truthful all the time. So but yeah, I'm going to go in there with a puffy face and but I don't even want to go in, but I know I have to go in, because these people are sort of, this is a big thing. So, but I went in, and I can tell you I did not feel like showing up this morning whatsoever, but I knew that I had to wipe my face, lie for the immediate entrance, and be like, no, I have hay fever. Until everyone got to know me a bit better, and then I was like, well, actually, no. And I told them that story, because they were also brand new, but again, that power of that event today, I sat with 10 of I think they're 6 deep to us, and then it was 6 of their, 10 of their people. But we just got to connect belly to belly and again, cry about our whys. And I've had PMs, we left at about 2:30. I've had 10 people PM me since that event, or it is an event, but you know what I mean, saying, oh my God, I was about to quit, or oh my God, I was just a product user, I'm ready to cannonball in, or oh my God, I thought I could never contact you, or it's just the power of events. I would not be sitting in this chair today if I did not take, events as seriously and as much as a priority as I do. Launch parties, three-way calls, everything. And I think the most important thing for you guys all, whatever level you're at, is understanding that there's going to be so many times, like I just said, that you just don't want to show up, or you can't be bothered, or you're scared to host a launch party, or you're scared to invite someone to an online webinar or whatever it is. And it's easier just to not, but you have to show up no matter what. And I think that's, if you can get that about events, then the rest will be easy.
Awesome. Love it. Love it.
But I'm just going to yell at my husband. Morgan! Come here. He's coming.
Awesome. So we'll hear Morgsy's story. And then you gave some really good insight into how you get people that are almost in your business that you know intimately to the bigger events, like to David Ward or to UAA. And maybe after Morgsy shares, if you've got any tips on how you get your new prospects to a wellness or to a launch, or those initial getting people to an event when they know nothing. After Morgsy shares his story, if you could touch on that, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Hey, how we doing?
Good.
Sorry, I was like downstairs. That's all right.
How's Zeusy?
He's annoying me at my feet.
Yeah, good.
What are we talking about?
Talking about the power of events and the importance.
All right, cool. So events. So yeah, here he is. There you go, Tully.
Oh, Zeusy.
All right, so I'm just going to act as if you guys have never heard my story, because there's a lot of faces that I'm not familiar with. So before Isagenix, I was the skeptical partner. When Anna came home and said she was getting involved in Isagenix, I was just shot her out of the sky. I just thought she was absolutely crazy, largely because I didn't know anything about it. But I did notice a change in her fairly quickly, and that was enough for me to become open to just giving it a go. I used the products and had great results, especially in my first 30 days. But that was it for me for a long time, because I hated network marketing. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it at all. I often say, if you think you'd have a skeptical partner, or you have people in your teams that have skeptical partners, or perhaps you yourself were skeptical coming in, you've got nothing on me, because, I don't know if you've heard Anna's story, but she replaced her income in 3 months. Left a job, had a 6-figure income within 6 months. She also won ISA Derby Vegas 2013, paid for me to go with her Isagenix income. I went there. I was like, no, this is still a scam. It's all bullshit. These people are all crazy, hugging each other, dancing on chairs and all this sort of shit. So I was like, nah, you know what? I can see it's a thing for you, but I'm still not getting involved. And we came back to Perth. She continued, and obviously, she continued to impact more people's life. I was seeing all the results on Facebook. I could see the income coming in. I could see people getting paid. And there was a local event in Perth called IC Uni. And I went along to that event, and a guy by the name of Michael Klaus spoke there. And I don't know if anyone has ever listened to Michael or watched any of his videos or ever seen him train live. But Rory and Tully, I'm pretty sure both of you guys were there.
Yeah.
I think Rory wasn't even wearing shoes. But the thing about Michael was, when he spoke, he just related to me in a way that Anna and PK and basically everyone else wasn't able to, even though he was saying the exact same stuff that they were saying. And really what it came down to for me was just understanding that this is just a business based on getting enough people what they want first. And if you do that enough times, you'll get what you want out of it as well. So once I understood that, I was like, it just made sense. I was kind of like, I said, why didn't you tell me this sort of stuff from the beginning? And they did, but they just weren't able to relate it to me in a way where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in. This is awesome. Because the good thing about events is it's third-party validation. Now, as awesome as Anna and PK are, they're not Michael Klaus. And, I said at that celebration, I said, I could talk all day. I can deliver the same content that Susan Sly delivers, but it's never going to be the same because I'm not Susan Sly. And that's what's awesome about events is if you can get your people to events, you're going to get them in front of the expert. So it's not you, their good friend, trying to relate to them how awesome it is. It's a professional, external third party. And when people get around that and they see that, and they tend to catch the vision, that they get excited. That's when I got excited. then the next event was University in Action, which we have in Perth next month. And that's when I started learning skills. So it was probably about 12 months after that, you know, of us working together, that I was able to step away from my full-time job. And that's really why I would never look back. So that's why I'm such an advocate for events, because without them, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And a lot of our team wouldn't be here. And a lot of you guys probably wouldn't be here either. If you're trying to grow this business without going to events, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it's going to be a really tough, really tough slog. You can do anything, but I just think it's much easier to do it by leveraging events. And it's not just good enough for, hey, I couldn't turn around and say to someone in my team, get a ticket to Brisbane, get accommodation, get your tickets to Celebration, and I'll see you when you get back, because I'm not going. The important thing is it's not just good enough to tell people to go to events, you've got to get your ass to events as well.
See, sync. In sync.
It's true though. I can't tell people how awesome and powerful events are if I'm not going. Because where's the integrity in that? So again, guys, I hope that's, you know, created a bit of a view around getting to events and why it's so important.
And how, Tal wanted to know, like, so we're still big enrollers, right? So Tully was saying how do we still get people to events? Is it like new or old? We'll just do all. So for us, do you know what? I honestly think that the biggest thing for me is that, and we talked about this all day today, this business to me is about relationships and human connection.
Okay, so just who quickly, when you enroll someone, who does a new associate checklist? Okay, that's good. So
boss.
Okay, so generally if we fill that out right, we'll get an idea of what their goals are, be it health or be it business. So generally the corporate run events are more for product sharers and business builders. Also great for product users, because there's generally some form of product training. But however, how do we get people to events? Is generally we know that you asked me, then together.
Yeah.
Okay. Generally we know their goal. So the other day I was just sending voice messages to people in our team. Hey, I know you want to. I'm just saying, we're in sync here. I know you want to get to executive. There's an event coming up. I reckon if you come to this event, you're gonna get to executive a lot quicker. And these are the reasons why.
You should know, this is the biggest powerful thing about this. Like, this business is about relationships and human connection. And I think you should know, even if your people are product sharers. Like today, we were business training to a room of 10 people, and someone's biggest goal, 10 people's biggest goal, was to pay for their products. How beautiful is that? I was like, yes. You know, the week before, it was like 3-star, 4-star, 5. Like it was bigger. But so for us, we were then sitting there and relating everybody's goal. Okay, you want to eat for free, you want to do this, you want to contact people, you want to find people. We were bringing it back to events. You were like, you guys, you have Wellness Wednesday, you have launch parties that Christy and Andrew run every week. You've got launch parties Kim runs every week. You've got David Wood coming to Perth. So we were enrolling the room. We were like, you know, those whys, because we went around first and got everyone's whys because we didn't really know them. And that's so powerful and the biggest thing for me. So we just had everyone crying, not everyone, and then we were like, well, guys, that's how you're going to do it. But like, that's how you're going to get there. And truly, don't worry, we still get the same shit. Everybody, like 2 women were like, oh, I don't have time. Like, I'm busy with kids. And we don't push it. We're like, that's okay. But just hold the space to change that answer. So we keep going, and we're like, okay, and then that says something else, and we're like, awesome. And this, yes, we're in a sit-down thing, but if you're in PMs or you're on the phone or you're catching up for coffee, you've just got to keep listening for the solution that you can provide with an event. It's the exact same thing with us as Gen X. So if I'm talking to Ed and Liv, about beautiful people, their goal kind of is crystal executive. So huge, massive goal. And like, we had close to 200 people at Celebration because we on the phone. Hey, remember your why. Hey, remember your goal. Exactly what you said, Tully. We just live into that. You're going to get there so much quicker if you come to this event with us. But the biggest thing is, we're at the front. If we're in that room, we're in that room. Do not waste your money and come and be in now. People, do you know, sorry if this is you, but people that like are outside, too important to be inside that room, present, like at the front, and they're like, oh, no, I'm just taking the 3-hour call. Do it after. You're at the event. Show up for your team. Be a leader. So for me, the biggest thing is going to the event yourself being in that room and then connecting everybody's whys. So every person that comes into this business or beautiful journey, whether it be an absolute just adamant product user, they can still get so much benefit from wellness, like just a Wellness Wednesday. And the last thing that I will say on that is a big thing that we say to people that are quite hard to convince. We really just talk to them truthfully and honestly about our community and culture. And we say, do you know what? We might peg them with someone. Do you know what? You get along so beautifully with another girl that we've got called like Leanne, for example. With Leanne, you know, she's a mum of 3. She's pregnant again. You so have to meet her. I would love if you could come. She's going to be at the Momentum on Wednesday. I'll go. I will come. I will introduce you both. So I always put myself in that, and I connect people to the culture. And we were saying this today, you know, you have to understand that sometimes the greatest gift that you can give anybody in the entire world is Isagenic's culture and community, because there's so many lonely people that are getting bullied or feel lonely or have no real community or have no real connection. And if you can just do whatever you have to do, be that connect their why to it, push them, drag them, whatever, and you can get them into that room and get them into that space and introduce them to some other people, they'll never leave. They will never leave. Like, they'll find their best friends and they'll never leave. So the biggest thing I think is just really finding out why. We keep taking it back to that, but their goal and their why, and just continually reminding them of that.
And the thing is as well, you know, as a good sponsor, if someone's shared with you their goal and you're not, I want to say brave enough, but if you're not reaching out to them and saying, hey, come to this event, it's going to help you get there quick, you're not really doing your job as a good sponsor and network marketer.
Yeah.
That's enrolling someone and collecting an $80 PIB is really just where it begins. Supporting people and getting to their goals is really what your job kind of is, whether that financial or physical. And I think just the quickest and easiest way for you guys to do that is, and take that workload off yourself, is just bring people to events, because the event does the job for you. Make sense?
Yeah, love it, guys. Love it, love it, love it. The big, touching on the community, vote one. I agree with that. People come because they think they lose 5 kilos. They stay for the community.
Wrong.
Like, it's, sorry, guys. And you lure them in. You're like, yeah, sure, I can help you lose weight. / change your life forever.
Yeah. Surprise!
Surprise, motherfuckers. And the other thing I wanted to just touch on, just recapping your guys' story, is, and it's like we spoke about the gradient before, but also I touched on before you guys jumped on, it's just like a tool. You've got to match the event, and you spoke about this, Anna, match the right event with the right person, because we just heard straight from Morgsy that he made it to US Celebration, which is like the upper echelon of getting somebody to an event. It's the like, if you can get somebody to fly to another country, but it was actually when he heard Michael Klaus. So you need to know who's going to be at what event. And if you don't know and you aren't familiar, you say, well, who's speaking at this? Speak to your sponsor or find somebody in the team. Who's speaking at this Super Saturday? Okay, what are their story data? So all we're doing is constantly just matching people up. And that's what we're doing. So,
and the biggest thing about that, and I'm so passionate about this at the moment, is this is our job, you guys. Like, you have been asked in the universe to have a responsibility to change the world and impact people's health. How fucking cool is that? So it's not like, you know, today we're up at 7 to go to 6 hours of business training, flit to mum's 60th birthday, come home, do this, and then I'll be working all night. Like, because my job is to help change people's lives. So if that job entails having a couple of hours out of my week to really, truly, properly connect with the cleansers that I'm signing up, that is such a big responsibility, and finding out their why and understanding their goals, and like really understanding their goals. And when an event does come along, I'm like, it's not hard for us to get people to events, because we've connected with them on such a human level and they know, like, and trust us, because we're in the what's it called, the trenches with them, with our sleeves up. So, and we're there every time. We're at the front. We're attentive. It's like when we say go, they're like, okay, because they trust us, because you know that we know their why, we know their goals. We're working with them, and it's such a big responsibility for us. And I don't know that. So it's I think it's Yeah.
Let me just say, if you're brand new, just move from outer states, because we certainly went like that from day one.
Fucked up.
It's taken us 3 years to get to where we are now. It's been absolutely shithouse for a while. We've kind of worked all this out. But you guys are so lucky because you've got a lot of tools and you've got all these great events, all these great leaders that you can help leverage to get people to this as well.
Awesome. And one little follow-up question that's just popped up. Like you said, you got 200 people to celebration. That's a lot of people to, know their whys and remember them all. Like, do you write notes when you're speaking to people and document and do you do like how do you keep track of that?
Remember as well, like we've got an organisation with about 12,000 people in it, so we don't know every single one of those people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit
obviously.
I'm pretty bad with names as it is. So
I know. It's just a story.
This is why duplication is so important, because it's pretty hard for me to know 200 people's whys, but it's pretty easy for me to teach 5 people or 10 people what the why is and why it's important to get the people. One, it's important to understand the people they're bringing in's why, because that whole thing needs to duplicate all the way down, so there's not so much pressure on 12,000 people's first and last name and every single person's why.
Can I say though, in the beginning, so what really got, how they say, you know how to do this, you've done it before, go back to what you were doing. A big thing for me was when I first started, I had about 12 to 15 of my main girls, because that's just where I attract leaders. I had their why up on my whiteboard in my lady cave. Yeah. I actually had their why on my lady cave. So every time I spoke to them, every time they had a wall kicking moment, every time whatever, and it became my why. And I used to say that to them, and they'd come over. They thought it was bullshit. Like they were like, oh yeah. And they'd come over and cry. Like they'd come in my office. We used to do business training at the house. We still do. But they'd see their why on my whiteboard and cry and be like, shit. But now I think, so we really do it with our main leaders. At the moment, we are doing this business training called In Touch Business Training. I've got a post about it in Isolife. But so we're getting in front of groups of people and literally just doing 6 hours of real high intensity in touch, so belly to belly business training. And to start, we all just go around and we have to talk about our why. If I'm sitting in a room with 12 people crying with them, I'll remember that. So
I just clear, I don't cry.
Morgie doesn't cry. Except he cried in the haka. He cried in the haka.
Yeah, good.
Something in my eye.
Then our wedding.
Crack those waterworks.
So yeah, but it's just so now, so to go from in the beginning, I had it on. It's funny, right? Because they say you already know what to do. You've done it before. In the beginning, I did actually have my main sort of leadership on the board there. Why? I stopped doing that, but now we've gone back to In Touch Business Training. I actually said to every person when they were all crying, I said, I'm going to remember that you're fucked now, because like I'm excited to push you because I know your why.
Yeah.
That. And I just sat with you for 6 hours and cried. So
yeah,
I don't know 12,000 and I don't know probably 200, but we know the people that we are in touch with, be it on the phone.
The people that we're working closely with, of course, we know their why as well.
Yeah.
The idea, it's important that the people they bring in, that they get clear on why
they know their why. Yeah. So you duplicate that down.
Yeah.
Massive.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for jumping on, guys. Muchos gracias. Really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are.
Oh, good. We love you.
Love you too. And we're just going to wrap up and talk about the events that we've got on this week that we can all hustle to get people to.
We're going to duck out.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. We'll see you Wednesday.
Yes.
See ya. All right, that was freaking awesome. Can I get a thumbs up if everybody enjoyed some words of wisdom from Anna? Yeah, doubles all around. Yes. Okay, cool. So that was awesome. I learned a shitload from that. And what I want to wrap up with is just some events we've got on this week. So obviously the Platinum Call. Again, how good was it to learn from a new face, a fresh perspective of somebody who's earning multiple 6 figures? How refreshing was that? Everybody, I'm getting some nods. We have access to that every Monday at 5 p.m. on the Platinum Calls. Now, I know a lot of you guys get on there But if you don't, just like they said, if they wouldn't go to events, that people wouldn't go to events. If you don't get on the platinum call, then you people aren't going to get on the platinum call. So that's at 5 p.m. Western Standard Time every Monday. So jot that in your diary. And if you can't get on at that time, they are all recorded. So jot in your diary on Tuesday, block out 30 to 40 minutes where you're going to listen to it. Because if it's just I can't make it on Monday, I'll listen to it later. Later never comes. So actually jot that in. And then the other thing that we've got on this week is Rory has organised, put your hand up. You're like, guys are usually harder to get started on the program, typically. And especially athletic people who already know a thing or two about a thing or two. So what Rory's organised is actually nutritional cleansing for athletes, like a lad-specific one, webinar on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. West. Yeah, I know, fist pumps, Rob Love. And he's got some epic speakers lined up. It's going to be, if I would do one thing, I'd go through your whole list. Either guys you've already got using the products and maybe, they're kind of getting results, people already on the program, people in your team that are actively building the business, and then new prospects. So all three, and validate it. Like Rory will post the event page in Bfree. So you can say the speakers, and again, make it relevant to the person, connect with their why and say, this is a one-off opportunity to hear from how Dirk Venter, this big ass power lifter, all these different people. Again, Roz is going to post it in Bfree, or if he already has, bump it to the top. So that's something I'm going to be focusing a lot of my income producing activity time around this week. Athletes and lads, get them on Thursday. If you're in Perth, this Wednesday is a product business training. So learn how to talk about the products. Again, any product users or business builders or product sharers will get a lot out of that. That's Perth Wellness Wednesday. And then any launches, we're pretty good, but just post it up in the Bfree page. If you're having a launch in the area, you never know who's watching, and you never know, some people slip through the cracks. So keep updated in the Bfree page with what events are going on. And also, if you haven't mapped out on the first, this was interesting. On the first webinar last week, I said www.isagenixevents.com and go to Australia and find all the events that are on during the 90-day game plan. Who has all those events written down yet? Show of hands. All the events during the 90-day game plan. Yeah, Rhea and Rob, not surprised. I'm just flicking across. Yeah, I'm seeing some hands. Good. And if you haven't done it yet, that's all right. You can do it tonight. But you want to be focusing, because the bigger events, so say if it's a David Wood event, that's a 3-day commitment. So yes, there's a financial commitment, but for most people, if they don't get it yet, it's the time thing that's the hardest. So the more in advance you can tell people about it, then the bigger chance they are of getting the time. Like Morgs and Anna have already spent a full day inviting to David Wood, and it's about a month away. So if you haven't done it already, go to isagenixevents.com, write all the events down that we've got in the next 90 days. I just got a message from somebody that might be telling me to say something. No, just Roz giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, and that's what we'll pretty much wrap it up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer an incentive. I haven't decided what it is yet because I just came up with this now, but there's going to be an incentive. It'll be a call with a platinum, and it'll be around who can get the most people on Thursday's webinar. Okay. Yeah, I see a few smiles. Amber is like, I got this. Who's the platinum going to be? Send them my way, she reckons. So most people on Thursday's webinar gets a call with somebody special. And with that call, you can choose to do what you want. You can make it a private call, or you can, incentivize other people in your team and get your little leadership crew on it. You can leverage that however you want. Okay, guys, it's nearly 10 past, so I'll respect all your time. But before we do, can somebody just type in the chat section how I do a screenshot? Because I want to screenshot everyone's faces. Somebody help a brother out. Apple.
Hey,
shift.
mate, you just press Shift Command 3.
Shift Command 3. All right, sweet. All right, I'm just going to get everybody's, thanks, Douse. I'm just going to get everybody's faces up in here. And you can take yourself off mute and say hey to everyone. Yeah, good, lovey. Give me that mug. Get up close and personal with it. Yeah. Can everybody give me some love? Yeah. I think that's working. Shift around 4. I don't know where it goes. Surely that worked. Can somebody screenshot this? Oh, hang on. No. I got it. Go again. Wait up. Yeah, hold it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Love it. All right, legends.
That was
good to
awesome,
see all the
Tully.
smiling faces.
Thank you.
Get stuck into this week and keep the good vibes flowing. I'll see you all very soon. What's that? I missed that.
Thanks for that. It was awesome.
No
Thank you
worries.
so much. Bye.
See you soon, legends.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, Tully.